Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
All right. What's up, guys? Ronnie, I'm alcoholic. Um, so basically my story, this is basically my story, right? It all started when I was about 11 years old. I got off the fucking bus one time and I saw all my friends in a group. Um, and I was just, I'm just a little kid, right? And it was my brother was there too. And I went up and I was like, yo, what are you guys talking about? And they fucking one of my friends, he comes up and he's like, put something up to my nose and he's like, smell it, right? And I'm thinking it smells like some fucking tea or some shit. And my brother comes home and I could just, I know he's high, you know what I mean? I know he smokes some weed and stuff like that. I knew little of it, right? I knew little of it. So I saw him acting hella goofy. It was pretty fucking funny. And I went up to him. I was like, yo, I was like, I know something's up. And I was like, what did you guys do? What were you guys doing? And he basically said, nothing. He's trying to bull. His eyes are all fucking bloodshot red. So I went up to him and I was like, yo, if you don't, if I can't smoke with you, I'm gonna tell mom and dad. Um, it took some convincing, and he finally let me smoke with him and everybody. We were in the backyard in a fucking tent, just taking bong rips, and it was amazing. It's like I everything I found was in that in the weed, right? And I I just started smoking weed tough after that. It was awesome. It was a good stress reliever. It was just good, like to get away from my comfort zone. I felt comfortable in being secluded and just being not normal. You know what I mean? Like it's it was like a big fucking nice little warm hug of just amazingness. And that went on for like a long time. That was like I think sixth grade, right? And sixth, eighth, seventh grade, eighth grade, or sorry, sixth grade, just straight stoner. Then seventh grade comes and I go to the bus one day and there's this chick, and she's like, "Hey, I just did some Xanax for the first time. I took it from my sister. Do you want to try?" I'm like, "Well, what's that?" And she showed it to me, and she told me what it did and how fucking fun it was and how great the feeling was. So I'm like, "Yo, shoot it, let me try it." And that's when I fell in love with Xanax. Like that was just my go-to. Like it got me to be not nervous anymore. It got me to be just straight anything I wanted to say and do, I'm doing it. I was like fucking God. Nothing can stop me. Nobody can tell me that I'm saying something stupid because in my mind everything I was saying was right. It was easy to pull the chicks. They were fucking coming left and right. It was hella dope. And I became dependent on that. Like it was a thing that I needed to do before every party. It was a thing that I needed to do to fucking go to sleep and stuff like that. So I was doing that. At the same time, my dad had me doing jujitsu, right? I was grappling all the time, having a good time, and so a little bit after that, I was doing a little fucking competition, and I popped my rotator cuff. Well, my shoulder popped out, right? So it was either like snap that shit back in or fucking just lose the competition. So I'm like, fuck it, push that shit back in. My boy pulled it in. I seen it in movies, so I'm like, oh, I could do it, right? It fucking hurt, but I kept going, ended up losing, and about a whole week of just being in pain, like I, I didn't want to tell my mom and my dad, that I'm fucking going in pain. So I tried to just to tough it out. And I eventually went to mom. I was like, yo, I'm in pain. She's like, well, what happened? I didn't really tell my parents that I was in pain because of that. I just said, I don't know what happened. And eventually they found out. So I went to the doctors and needed surgery on my shoulder. I was like 16 pieces of tissues got ripped, and I needed fucking some cool surgery, I guess, right? And that went like so. I get prescribed painkillers. Like I knew what it was. I fucked with it before. I took it from my mom's medicine cabinet, and it was that warm hug. Again. And so when I got put on them, I never really like understood what withdrawal was. I didn't get it, like what the fuck what you go through and how you feel about it. And so I'm on some fucking hydrocodones for about fucking 6 months, man. And I'm taking them left and right. Like I'm finishing a bottle like within 2 weeks, and I was getting about 60 of them. And that led to just straight depending on it. They took me off straight on month six. Like I'd be fucking bullshitting and saying, "Hey, someone stole it out of my backpack in school. I need another script," and just making bullshit on. I could tell my mom was catching on, my mom and dad, but they weren't going to say nothing because I'm the little angel and shit like that. Um, So that happened, right? And then they take me off right after 6 months of me just straight dependent on it every fucking day, multiple times a day, right? And now I'm like fucking sick. I'm like, why do I feel like this? I got the restless legs. I'm sweating. My fucking nose is running. I'm like, yo, I'm sick. I'm like, mom, can I go to the doctor? She takes me to the doctor. They're like, yo, nothing's wrong with you. You're not sick. So I don't know why you're saying you feel like this. I'm just like, fuck, I don't either. So I talked to my friend about it and he's like, dude, you're probably coming down off that shit, right? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's withdrawals. I'm like, nah, dude, I don't understand what that means still. So he's like, here, take these. So he's like, I got an old person that I pick up from. I'm like, cool. So let's keep this connect right. And that went on for a fucking good whoever knows, like a couple years, I would say. Just picking up off this same fucking person. I don't really have another plug for that. So something happened to this person. I don't know what the fuck happened. He's gone. And now I'm fucking back in the same position as I was prior, feeling like shit, withdrawing. Now I know what the withdrawals are, and I was fucking terrified of it. So I hit up another friend. I was like, "Yo, can you pick up some perks?" He's like, "Yeah, I got you." And so I shoot him $100, and this fool takes fucking forever. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? Did I just get jacked?" And he shows up. He's like, "Yo, I couldn't find anything, but I picked this up instead." I was like, "Well, what's this?" And he shows it to me, and it's just some black shit. I'm like, "So what the fuck is that? What am I supposed to do with this shit?" And he tells me what it is, and it's fucking heroin. As soon as he said heroin, I'm like, "Yo, get that shit the fuck away from me. That shit's nasty. I don't fuck with that." He's like, "Well, it's this is your money." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking get high off it. If you don't want it," he's like, "I could pay you back sometime." I'm like, "Fuck." He's like, "You're gonna feel like shit though." So I'm sitting there fucking just feeling like shit, thinking like, "Do I give a fuck about becoming a fucking heroin addict? Nah, I do. I'm gonna try it one time. I'm just gonna do it just today, and I'll find another connect some other time, right?" So I do it. Don't know how the fuck to do it. So I'm smoking it. Dude's fucking lighting it for me and shit like that. I'm like, okay, I don't feel it. He's like, maybe you should try snorting it, and I snorted it. I snorted it, and I felt fucking great. Withdrawals went away. I'm just sitting there feeling amazing and shit like that, and I'm like, okay, well, this is a little better, you know what I mean? It's easier. I got more of it and I don't have to spend as much. So let's do this shit all the time. I was like, yo, I finished what the fuck I picked up and I hit him back again and again and again and again. And this went on for 2 years. And now, mind you, I hate fucking junkies. All my friends hate junkies and I don't tolerate them. I don't like them. Little did I know I was becoming a fucking junkie, right? Um, so while I was getting high off this shit, everyone's noticing me nodding out extra, and they're like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? What do you want?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just smoked weed. I took a few pills. I'm good." They're like, "Whoa, that's fucking weird. I've never known someone to nod off weed, right?" And now my brother's getting all like all just wondering what the fuck's going on. He's getting suspicious, and so he starts going through my shit, right? Never finds anything. And he's telling everybody, I think my brother's doing heroin. Now everyone's questioning me and wondering, should we stop hanging out with this fucking person? I'm like, um, I'm like, I'm good, guys. Don't worry about me. I'm just smoking weed. I've been off the pills for quite some time. And stuff like that. So I I get caught doing heroin by my mom. I talk her into not saying anything, right? I tell her don't tell my brother because he's gonna tell everybody because he has a vendetta on me for picking on him, like all throughout the times that I was training. Who else should I train on? It's my fucking brother, I picked on him a lot and he's my older brother, so he has every right to be fucking like wanting to tell everybody not to, so that no one fucks with me anymore, right? Because his friends are my friends. So um he finds the heroin tin foils and shit in my trash can. I try to hide them. He finds it and takes a picture of it, right? So he tells everybody. Everyone sends it to everybody. They're like, "Look, see, I wasn't fucking crazy. My brother is on heroin. This is the person you're hanging out with." And everyone fucking stops hanging out with me, man. Like it was just devastating. It pissed me off because I was that fucking cool kid that everyone fucking just that everyone hung out with, man. And I didn't, like I said before, I secluded myself. I thought I was just that one person that just I don't need friends, you know what I mean? And then I became having a lot of friends and I got used to that, you know? So when my brother told all that and I lost all my friends, I didn't know what the fuck to do. You know, so the only person I can hang out with is the devil, you know, dance with that fucking devil all the time. And I was doing that for quite some time. My mom started like wondering how can she help her son, and her son's gonna fucking die one of these days. So she sent me a fucking link to either a rehab or a methadone clinic. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to no fucking rehab, dude. Like, fuck that. So I went to a methadone clinic, you know, substitute one from the other, right? And while I was doing that, I was still getting fucking high with Xanax. I was still smoking weed, still drinking, and still fucking doing heroin, right? So now I got to go more because I got a fucking tolerance because of the methadone. Um, One day, my boy that fucking I knew shoots up all the time, right? I go pick up with him, and I see him just fucking shooting up, and he looked like he was feeling great. You know what I mean? Like it looked like that fucking just that warm fucking hug he got just instantly, right? So I'm barred out at the time. I took a bunch of Xanax, and he doesn't know it because when I take it, I try to hide it pretty good. And I'll tell him, I'm like, yo, can I pick up, right? Or can you shoot me up? Because I want to try it. He's like, fuck no, you're not going to do that. I'm not going to be the first one that you do that with. And I was like, look, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it with my dealer. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen to me? Trying to guilt trip and manipulate as much as possible. Took some convincing, and eventually he fucking did it. He hits me. I instantly nod out. Instantly fucking just straight head to the window. And I wake up a few times with him tripping out. Second to last time I woke up, he was saying, I'm going straight to the hospital. I'm calling your parents right now. I'm like, yo, fuck that. Took my phone, threw it out the window like a dumbass, and um, I passed back out. So he also, you know, so he was also doing fucking like crack and shooting up coke, and I didn't really know that. And so I wake up with a fucking big ass like just thing in my chest, a fucking like just like the Wolf of Wall Street. It was that, whoo, you know, and I was like, yo, what did you just do? Why do I feel like I gotta throw up? He was like, yo, I just shot you up with some hard. That's the only thing I could think of to get you the fuck up because I'm thinking you're ODing. And I was just like, fuck, dude, that was amazing, bro. You know, I fucking fell in love with that shit. So I went on for that for a while. You know, I was picking that shit up, breaking it down, pulling it back, and shooting it up, and fucking tasting it like it was candy. You know, it was an everyday thing multiple times a day. I was spending all my money on it. My parents were wondering, well, what the fuck where's your money going? Why are you borrowing money from us? Why are you taking money from us? Why are you stealing from us? And I just didn't know what to say. It was just manipulation after manipulation. And, my brother stopped talking to me, which I didn't really care about at the time. All my friends stopped talking to me, like I said. Um, my parents were the only ones there for me, right? And in the midst of my addiction, they all hated me. They didn't give a fuck about me. My parents hate me. They don't fucking, what was me type shit. So um that happened, right? And I'm fucking just on and cracking with that all the time. I'm all sucked up, I'm fucking nicknamed Scrawny Ronnie and shit like that. I go to a rehab. I get talked into going to rehab, right? It was either that or fucking or nothing, right? So I go to the rehab and I'm there for about like fucking 7 days, dude. Snug Xanax in the seams of my pants, all my shirts, everything. Just snuck that shit in. I'm like, okay, I could do this, And in Vegas, the rehab sucked because you got to withdraw with bullshit ass comfort meds for about 4 to 5 days before they even put you on Suboxone or Subutex. So I'm sitting there feeling like shit, popping my Xanax. That's not fucking helping. I don't know what to do. I'm in a fucking big ass facility with a bunch of peoples. I got anxiety through the roof. And so I fucking Uber home, and I tell my parents, I'm good. I'm detox. I'm clean. Don't worry about it. Soon as those fuckers left to work, I'm fucking hitting up the plug and I'm picking up. Now I'm picking up fucking fentanyl blues. Um, I take a bunch of Xanax that night and I get invited to my friend's a release party to go to pharmacy at the art district down in Vegas. So I go out to the art district. I fucking meet everybody. It's a good old time. I see my boy's girlfriend slipping him some Xanax in his mouth. I'm like, yo, let me pick up a few more. So I do that. I trade some weed for some more Xanax. I'm doing coke. I'm drinking. I take some acid, and next thing you know, I'm blacking out. Uh, Last thing I remember is I was in a car full of chicks and my boy up front, and we was going to the mansion party. And then fucking I blink and I'm talking to somebody. I'm thinking I'm talking to my boy Blake. Nobody's in the fucking car. I'm talking to myself, and then I black out again. Boom. And I'm in one gas station, right? I got my fucking hands in my shirt like a jackass, face all covered, and I'm robbing it. And then I go to another gas station and another gas station. So I've run to 5 gas stations and I robbed that shit, like a dumbass, right? And I make it home. I'm home. I guess, my mom wakes me up. She's like, "What the fuck are you on? Are you all right? You look like you're dying and shit like that." I'm like, "Mom, I'm good." Then my boy hits me up. He's like, "Yo, I just came back from Miami with the Fire Coke. Do you want to come try it?" So I'm like, "All right, sounds good. I'll be right there." I forget that I grabbed the last gas stations. Mind you, I'm blacking out again. I'm coming to it here and there a little bit better than before, and I forget that I covered my license plate, all my mask and my shirt that I was just wearing in my back of my car. So I fucking drive by the last gas station I robbed, and I run a red light, get pulled over, bunch of red beams on me, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? Right? I didn't rob this fucking bank because I pulled into a bank, right? And I go to jail, wake back up, knocking on the fucking glass door, like, "Yo, what's going on?" I call my mom. She's like, "You're not my son anymore. You're on the news, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna get out of this mess, right? Mom helps me out after a fucking couple months. She gives in. She spends about 10 grand on lawyer fees, right? And I get 5 years probation. I had to do 12 months flat time in the county jail, and just a bunch of other little bullshit that I had to do. So I get out. I'm sober, obviously. I just did 12 months, and I'm doing everything right. And then all of a sudden, fucking an old friend hits me up right before I go to work, and he's like, "Yo, you want to get high?" And I'm like, "Fuck it, let's get high." So I get high. And I get drug tested the next day, failed drug test. So in Vegas, you could fail drug tests. It doesn't fucking matter. Eventually a few drug tests you'll get put on house arrest. I didn't get that far. This is about a year out now. I'm fucking doing coke. I talked my fucking PO into putting me in another program where all I got to do is take a mouth UA, and I know how to beat that because you just got to stay a fucking 1 day clean, right? Or yeah, just one whole day. That's that whole day. So let's go in the morning and take the drug test, do that bullshit ass class for an hour and a half, and I'm on and cracking again, until fucking next month. So that went on for a while, right? It's about 6 months after that year. I get pulled over again, same substances. I'm drinking alcohol, took some Xanax, I'm on acid, I'm fucking on methadone again, and I'm smoking weed, right? I pull to a gas station trying to get gas. Go inside, buy a pack of cigarettes, and I think the fucking store clerk knows I'm intoxicated, so he took my keys. I searched my car like a bunch of times, right? And don't find it. The cops come, they call my mom, say, "Hey, it's a new cop, so he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." He's like, "Hey, your son's here. If you want to come pick him up before he goes to jail, come real quick, and we'll park his car." As soon as she shows up, fucking sergeant comes, sees my license isn't connected to my house. I get violated for that. My judge sees all the fucking drug tests that I failed, and she counts the violation as a felony, right? Because in the state of Nevada, if you have 2 or more felonies, you have to register for every house you move into. I didn't do that. So now I got a felony. So she's like, no new cases in my court. You're going up for 4 to 10 years. I'm like, fuck, that was my suspended sentence. I have no say in that. I have no idea what to do. Mom just spent 10 grand. She's disappointed. I'm back in jail, and she found out I was using again. Um, Mom stopped talking to me. That's my best friend. She stopped talking to me. My only supporter was my dad. And at first, the first go around, my dad wasn't there because he was pissed at me. He was there, but he just wasn't helping me. No money in the books, blah blah blah. So it kind of flip flop, right? My mom's my best friend, like I said, and that shit hurt. That didn't stop me from using in prison though. So I did that, and the last I was at a fire camp for 2 years, and then the last year, um, I was supposed to go fight fires in California. I get the fucking dumbass flu shot or the COVID vaccine, and I had to do some shit in prison, and I got sent to a max, right, for my last year. I get sent to a max. Mom again, she's like, "Well, what the fuck is wrong with you? You were doing so good. What happened?" I was like, "Mom, there's rules you gotta follow, right?" So I get sent to the max, and I gotta do a year. And craziest fucking experience, right? But I get out after that year. I I I maxed out. I don't have to be on parole, no nothing, right? So I get out and I go back to New York. And in New York, you know, that's where my mom stays. Um, Now she stayed there. She moved when I was locked up inside, and I was doing pretty fucking well, right? You know, the only thing I was doing was smoking weed. I knew about NA, but I didn't give a fuck about NA because, you know, every time I went to NA, it was all about war stories, and I was loaded all the time, so it didn't really fucking matter to me. So I was basically white knuckling that shit, and it lasted about 5 or 6 months, smoking weed and going to work and walking. You know, every time I'd be walking to the fucking train, I'd be seeing syringes and baggies all over the floor. So I just tell myself, keep your head up, Ronnie, and just keep on walking. Just get to work and get home. You'll be cool. So now in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I definitely want to get high. I'm being hit up by dealers. You know, do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? And of course, it's from fucking coke or crack, right? So um, that goes on for about 5 or 6 months, like I said. And one day, you know, I guess in my mind, I'm trying to find any excuse to go get high, right? I fucking leave the toilet seat up. My mom yells at me about it. I'm like, yo, I'm perfect excuse, you know? Mom's complaining about the toilet seat. Let's fucking go get loaded, right? So uh I fucking like, mom, I need a breather. That was a rough one for me. Let me borrow your car real quick. I'm just gonna go, you know, drive and release my mind, you know. So I do that, went straight to the plug, fucking picked up some hard and picked up some rigs and fucking was on and cracking again, man. And then there's 2 years of me just fucking getting loaded. You know, I go back to Vegas against all fucking wishes of my uncle, my mom, my everybody, you know. And I'm like, yo, I could do it. You know, a chick came down, she came down to visit me. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go stay with her. And I did that, bro. That lasted for fucking maybe 3 months, man. You know, I was getting real bad onto the Xanax again. I stopped using the rigs. I stopped really the hardcore shit and just stayed on methadone, Xanax. And that was my cocktail for every fucking day. I'd go to work, fucking popping 6 bars, man, and just be fucking fine. You know, I accomplished a lot of shit while I was high, but I could not maintain anything. I couldn't maintain work. I couldn't maintain anything. I just kept losing. um, so more of the story is, you know, I finally came to Vegas, right? Or finally came to Cali, and I got clean, man. It's a trip because I did not give a fuck about this program. I didn't care about anything, right? And I did the program right, man. I got myself a sponsor. I really fucking tried it. I'm doing AA meetings, even though these people are crazy. I'm believing in God. I'm believing into a higher power, and I'm raising my hand. I'm getting my name out there. I'm getting my sober community going, and I'm moving out here. This place is a fucking blessing. Rehab is a blessing when you really put forth the effort. You know, if you try, you'll accomplish anything, man. Like everything's fucking great, and yeah, this is amazing. I get yourself a sponsor if you guys hear me. If you guys ever need fucking help or talking or something like that, and your story's similar to mine, I got first name Ronnie Mezer, RONNYMEZHER, Instagram or fucking Snapchat, Facebook. Look me up, and I'll be there for you guys, man. That's about it.
And like, what did you do when you got out to California and started getting sober again?
Okay, so I got to California, right, and I went into a treatment program. Um, like I said, I didn't give a fuck about it. You know, I packed my clothes for about 30 days. You know, that's all I wanted to stay is detox, do a little bit of the program, and go home. Well, in the program, like I said, I didn't give a fuck. I was wearing my glasses like I was some fucking badass cool kid, you know, telling everyone to go fuck themselves when they tell me to take my glasses off. And one of the group facilitators was like, "Hey, I got a meditation. It's like kind of like a DMT trip if you try it." So I'm like, "Shoot it, let's fucking do it." You know, it sounds like a trip. And I did it. I did it right, and I feel like this fucker hypnotized me. You know what I mean? Like, and he hypnotized me in a right fucking way. I started really giving a fuck. I started trying. Like in residential, like they have group facilitators, right? And they come and tell you something. I started getting a notepad, writing shit down, listening to everything they said, and I started doing therapy with my therapist. I'm actually not faking it to make it. I'm actually talking to him and letting him know how the fuck I feel and what's wrong with me. You know, like all the bullshit that I was going through and everything that I was hiding in my addiction. I actually talked to my therapist. I did that, and I started giving a fuck, and then I got dropped down to sober living. Right, I went to sober living, and there's so many meetings around where I stay right now. I'm in Huntington Beach, and I go to meetings all the time. You know, I first when I first went to a meeting in residential, you know, I thought these fools were fucking nuts. You know what I mean? I'm like, you guys are a fucking cult. You're drinking something in your coffee, but obviously it's working. So let me drink some coffee with you guys, right? Let me bullshit with you guys. Um, and I started doing it. You know, I started trying. Public speaking for me was not normal. You know, I sounded like a fucking retard half the time. But eventually, my sponsor said, "Just keep raising your hand, keep raising your hand, and keep talking. And it'll get better." And it did, man. It did. You know, he said, "Get your name out there." You know, and I didn't understand what that meant until he rose his hand one time, and he's looking at me to share. I'm like, "Yo, you good? What's wrong?" You know, he's like, "Speak." I'm like, "All right." So I started speaking, right, and it started working, man. Like being of service fucking really helps. It sounds stupid at first, but like once you get with the program, it helps. Like helping another fucking alcoholic or addict um off the edge is the most beautiful thing you could fucking do. It's not even for them. You're doing it for yourself without even knowing you're helping yourself, right? So I started getting that name out there. People started coming up to me after meetings. I started getting my sober community without knowing I got now sober friends. And I never really fucking understood sober friends because sobriety sucks, right? Nah, that was complete horseshit. Um, so I'm on day 60 right now. I'm 60 days clean and sober, 61 actually days clean and sober. And it's the most beautiful thing ever. I got a relationship with my mom now back again. She's telling me she's proud of me. She's happy that I'm here. She wants me to come visit for Thanksgiving. My dad wants me to come out there and visit for Thanksgiving. Yet they don't really understand the myths of the disease. They think that shit just done and over with when you get clean. Um, but yeah, it's a blessing that I came to California. It's a blessing that I actually put forth the effort to actually try in this treatment, and it's a blessing that I'm now believing in God and listening to my dad to pray every day, and listening to my sponsor to do that. I'm doing the steps and I'm doing them right. You know, I'm actually doing inventory and everything. I'm trying to clean house. You know, I'm getting better every day, and I would hope you guys do the same. And fucking, if you guys are going through treatment or if you guys are still in the midst of your addiction, get with somebody, get with a fucking alcoholic or an addict, and ask for help, and ask for fucking help, and everything will be a blessing. You know, it's about it, man.